Welcome to our conversation, Naomi.
Hey, Lindsay, thank you for having me.
This year in particular, I'm really curious what Black History Month means to you.
That is a great and interesting question. I don't know what I can say of what it means to me because I'm still figuring that out. What I can say is I am looking at it and doing things differently. What that means. So we know and we always hear and celebrate of the most celebrated African Americans of our country. So we talk about Thurgood Marshall. We talk about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We talk about a little bit Harriet Tubman, right? And so this year, in light of all of the life division that has happened, especially in light of 2020, I have chosen to highlight and not just me learn about, but to share with others about African Americans who aren't celebrated, who aren't talked about, and how their lives have impacted and shaped our country. And to be honest, I'm picking those that require us to take a deep, hard look at ourselves as a country, as a nation, because we don't want to talk about it. But we have to talk about it in order for us to get better and in order for us to heal. I don't understand why we need a Black History Month if we learned all about American history, right? One of my tags in raising my son Noah, and let me just say, he isn't here in the room with me, and he does not have a mute button. So
Okay.
he might join in the conversation, and I welcome that.
He is welcome, yes.
But in raising him, I have had to have a lot of uncomfortable conversations, and I'm to a point in our lives where I'm comfortable with uncomfortable. And with that, we have to get to a place where we can be uncomfortable, because when you're uncomfortable, that's where growth happens, if you allow it. That's where I am when you talk about Black History Month, in the sense of people saying, I didn't know, or you talk about laws and how things are, and people should just do or follow orders or directions and they won't get hurt. I'm choosing to show our history and how the past is our present.
That was really well said. And from what I heard you say too, was that this doesn't go for just the month of February. It goes throughout the year and every year in the past and every year ahead of us as well. And I know me personally and PFCC Partners as an organization, we've been on a learning journey through 2020, through this last year, which personally I feel like is one way that people like me or of any race can take that first step of just listening and learning. But I'm curious, what are your thoughts? What can people do this month or any month after to show respect for Black history, to support it, to acknowledge it? What can people do?
One of the words that you said jumped out at me, and it was listen. And that's something that we don't do well or often, to actually just listen, to listen without coming up with a response. Or, as you're listening to someone talk, you're formulating what you want to say next. So are you really listening to what the person is saying? So to listen and to validate their experience. So a lot of times, and a friend of mine said it best, she is very much an extrovert, and she says whatever comes to mind, no matter how uncomfortable it makes people. But one of the things that she said in her own journey of personal growth was she is listening and engaging with people to not make their experience fit into her worldview.
Mm.
So not trying to spin what somebody has said to fit in her experience,
Mm-hmm.
or to discredit what they're saying because that wasn't her experience.
Right.
So to listen, one, to listen, and two, to validate the other person's experience.
Mm-hmm.